let me know when you're ready.
Yep, let's go. In 5, 4, 3, 2.
All right. So we're back for episode 5 of Sports Opinions with regular guys. Again, you got Mike, you got Ralph, Frank. Thanks for watching again. So, as usual, we focus more on Chicago sports, but we will talk about the sports around, the country. So first, we're going to talk about the Bulls. Then we'll get to the NFL afterwards. First, the Bulls. Bulls. I mean, I really can't hate on them too much because of the fact that the Bulls are shorthanded right now. And I know we lost a couple of games. We lost against the lowly Magic. DeRozan did come out and show out, put up 41 points, but we needed a team effort to win that. And we came up we came up way short. It was a 114-95. And then we saw the Thunder, and we ended up beating the Thunder. So that was good. That was a good comeback for that. Vooch came out, did the business. We should have fed him down low a lot more, but I'll take what we can get, even though we were blowing this team out. First thing I want to talk about the Bulls is Caruso being out. And I know I got Frank that's anxious to talk about, the guy that put him on the sideline for 2 months. Is it 8 weeks he's going to be out?
6 to 8 weeks.
Yeah. So we got Grayson Allen. Grayson Allen's been hurting people since Duke. He's hurt arms, legs, tripped people up, smacked them. He's done just about everything but DDT somebody on the court. Yeah. Well, he almost did. But somehow this man is still playing. Got a 1-game suspension for fracturing Caruso's arm. Now we're going to be without him for 8 weeks. With Ball out for 8 weeks. So we're going to be shorthanded for about 2 more months, and we're going to be fighting. But, Ralph, what do you want to touch up on that, on the Bulls?
It was a terrible incident that happened to Caruso, landed on his wrist the way he did. Grayson Allen, that was totally bad play, bogus play. Just kind of remind me of like 90s basketball between the Pistons and the Bulls and things of that nature. It's unfortunate he only got 1-game suspension. I thought he probably could have got maybe like a 3 or 4-game suspension out of that. Also, Milwaukee, the team itself let out a press release about it and stating that they had his back with it. So I thought that was kind of wrong in that aspect. It's kind of showing because everybody in the league, they got this brother, unity, and they're all a part of unity. So union, I should say. So I'm surprised that even happened. It's a terrible thing. What do you think about that, Frank? What do you think about that incident and that play that took place?
Well, obviously it was a dirty, filthy play. 1-game suspension is atrocious. He should have got at least 10 games. And Milwaukee, for them to back him up, it figures, That's how that organization is. That's how that, the teams in that state are. If I'm the Bulls, and after hearing that and seeing that, when they play them again, because they play them 3 more times, I believe.
Yeah.
When they play them again, you have to retaliate. You have to retaliate. And then I believe they should retaliate on him, or I hate to say it, maybe another player there that's important to that team, and have one of the players just take the brunt of it. The NBA isn't gonna do anything. They're not gonna do shit. All they're gonna do is suspend you 1 game and throw you out that current game. So if I'm at Bradley, for example, I would go in there, and when Grayson comes out there, give him one of those good old elbow, one of those elbows to the back that happened to Dirty Morris. Put him out for 2 months.
Yeah.
And and hey, I'll take my ejection. I'll take my 2 Ts. I'll take my 1-game suspension. Because what's the NBA going to do? Suspend it for 5 games, 10 games? They can't do that because they ain't suspend Grayson for 1 game after his dirty plays that he's been on his whole career. So a player like Bradley who has no violent history, I would have him go out there and be the scapegoat and take care of business for the team. And then the Bulls will come out there and say, you know what, we stand by him 100%. And that's what should happen. But with this cupcake league, National Boys Association, And they probably won't do that. They won't retaliate and all this other stuff, which is ridiculous.
That's
Had
not
this
what the Bulls
been
head coach
the
wanted.
'90s, and something like that happened, believe me, there would be retaliation, and that's the problem. But as far as the Bulls go, they are 3-7 in their last 10 games.
Yeah.
Now, as I mentioned their schedule before, I still think they have a favorable schedule since they got JR coming back, and they'll have
It's not
DeRozan
JR.
back. Now,
Exactly.
Vujacic needs to pick it up. He needs to pick it up. He needs to be that. His scoring has to pick up. You don't have the defense of Ball and Caruso. You're missing the scoring of Ball. But they did get Green back, which is good. So maybe he can help the burden there. But they're going to be 2 months without those two and Jones Jr.
Yeah.
We don't know when he's coming back.
Yeah, but here's the thing. It all boils down to what I've been mentioning before. Defense. You don't need to be the greatest player in the world to play defense. You're more than an example of that. Because me and this guy were playing basketball, we had plenty of times by you. So you don't need a lot of energy or a lot of talent to play defense. You just need to move your feet. And you move your feet side to side, make sure the man stays in front of you. And just don't leave your man, Make sure you bounce out. And help defense good. Call out on picks and things of that nature.
But
I think that could be enough already.
But the problem with that is their best defensive players are out for 2 months.
Yeah, but you don't
So
always...
not,
it might be the best defensive
and
players,
as
but
you can see,
you can still play defense as a weak player. It doesn't matter. Defense just takes effort.
I understand, but not everyone on there can play defense. They should be able to. But when you're missing, come on, now.
Exactly.
Come on now. How many of the NBA players don't play defense? Harden,
that's a
Irving.
different.
they're on
That's
superstar
totally
level.
different. That's totally different.
So all they care about those guys doing is really scoring. They're not on the level as to lock you down like Caruso locks you down.
What I'm saying is
or
the
Ball locks you
defensive.
down.
Yeah, we got our top defensive players, which are premier defensive players in the league. They're down, so that takes a lot to pick it up. Just like when you lose a JR or when you lose a DeRozan, you're losing those 30 points a game. Who's gonna pick that up? Where's that extra scoring gonna come from? The same thing with defense. Where's that extra defense gonna come from?
Hold on.
Okay, go ahead. Yeah,
I'm gonna touch up on your thing you said about Vucevic. Now, did you watch the game yesterday?
Yes, I did. They blew a 28-point lead.
Okay, so Vooch was open down low. How many times? And it looks to me like we need to work on how to
pass the ball there.
Insert the ball down low, because it looked like we hesitated every time you saw him open his hands right here, like I'm open.
Mike, they're
and
doing
these guys
that.
Are like, should I pass
They're
it?
doing that
Should I
every
pass
game.
it?
They make him an outside shooter. They should have been
No, but
putting
he's
him
down
inside.
low. Give him the ball. Feed him the ball.
But
It's
he's not
his
down
fault.
low as much because he's on the outside trying to hit that 3 point.
You saw him
Yeah,
yesterday
he
posted up.
can get down there.
Well, they need to do that every game.
I agree.
He can easily put up 30 points again himself if he stays down low. I mean, there's no big men in the league.
I think the best way to kind of get your offensive game to work is to start down low.
Yep.
Okay, you start down low, make some easy buckets, then progress and move yourself out
Yep.
to the 3-point line.
Because the defense is going to start watching what you're doing down low. It's going to leave some people open outside to hit an open shot.
And these teams already know what the Bulls are doing. They already know what the Bulls are doing. So if you watch the Bulls game and you see it once the person brings up the ball, it could be Zach, it could be DeRozan,
It could be Kobe White.
Exactly.
Well,
What do they do? So you get one man here, and then here's DeRozan, here's the defender, and then here's Vooch or whoever, and here's this defender. So he's gonna come over here to try to, set a screen, and then what happens? Goes around, and here's another double team because nobody's moving, nobody's
Right.
cutting.
It's that trap, man.
Exactly.
Right.
So basically they're trapping themselves.
Well, the only thing you can really ask for at this point,
Mhm.
because they lost their number 1 seed, so they're gonna have to
Still on.
do what they can, stay at the top 4 seed. It could work out in the Bulls' benefit because when everyone does come back, they'll be at full strength come playoff time, and so they can have a top 4 seed, and they could be dangerous in the playoffs. They don't necessarily have to have home court advantage because they're also a decent road team too.
Yeah.
And again, East is wide open. I mean, does anyone really trust Miami as a legit number 1 team?
Yes.
I don't. Do you
hear
think?
that?
Yes.
Do you think Brooklyn is a legit number 1 team?
Yes.
They could be if all 3 of their players are playing all the time. But we don't know when Durant's coming back. Unfortunately, though, I like Durant, but unfortunately, I know you've been saying it for years. He seems to be getting injury prone these last several years. And he is getting up there in age. And the thing is, can his health handle the playoffs?
I just see
Irving is not going to play in home games.
No.
He's only going to play on road games.
Mm-hmm.
So hell, it might benefit you if the Bulls do play Brooklyn and Brooklyn has home court.
Well,
That'll help the Bulls out.
think about it.
I mean, he's not going to be playing. He's only playing half the games. So 4 out of the 7 games, he's not going to play.
Yeah, so I mean,
And all you got to do is get
it's
1 or 2 of those on the road.
I agree with you, man. I agree with
in.
you. It's still a long season. So,
It is,
so-
but I'm just saying, at this point, now that they got their 2 top players back, they're going to win some games, especially with these cupcake teams that they'll be playing upcoming. Now, when they play the Miamis and the Milwaukees, and they don't play Brooklyn again, when they play basically those teams, because maybe Philly, they owe Philly a whooping.
They
But
need to learn how to
other
hold
than those teams, what other teams from the East stand out? Boston.
Milwaukee.
No, I already said no.
Oh, you said-
Other than
okay,
Milwaukee
okay.
and Brooklyn.
I mean,
And Miami.
Philadelphia.
yeah, I was just about to say.
76ers.
You gotta
That's-
give them.
okay.
Yeah, but
I give you that.
But I
That's
was
a lot,
looking at their
right.
record. Philadelphia is in 6th. They're actually doing better. They're actually 9 games over. They're 7-3 in the last 10, so they're picking it up.
Don't slack on Cleveland.
That's true.
I'll slap.
Do
them.
that.
They've been
Snap.
playing.
They're a good team, but let's be honest.
Do not
Let's be
slack on them.
honest.
That is a good team.
We'll see what happens.
That
I mean,
is-
they're doing a lot better than they have since who left the second time.
But yeah, man,
So,
they got a bunch of bigs on that team who can play
I think
defense.
they're the biggest team in the league right now.
They're the
Height-wise.
15th team.
Who play
Which-
a post game.
Yeah, that's good.
Post game.
But you're also going to need outside shooting in the playoffs.
They can shoot.
You got Kevin Love that's popping threes on him.
And then you got the ex-Bulls player.
Exactly.
Markham. He's
Marketing-
just
marketing's
knocking
been
them
killing
down.
him, too.
Like, what's
Hey,
what's
I
up
mean,
with that?
Laurie.
We'll see what happens. But the Bulls do got to pick it up now. They got most of their players back. They're still missing 3 of their players, but these are all bench players they're missing. So but that's their bench. That's a lot of their bench scoring and their defense. They're losing. Well, Ball is a starter, so I take that back.
Yeah.
But they can put Green in. Green will be a sufficient replacement for Ball until he gets back. But the Caruso on the
Green-
defense is where you're going to be missing a lot of
Green
defense
doesn't.
on.
Yep.
Green doesn't play point.
But he can get you that outside. He could be a similar
He doesn't
outside.
shoot
But
either.
before he got hurt, he was shooting the ball decent. I watched all their games. So I think they can stay afloat. I think they should be for the most part okay. I don't think I'm too worried. They're gonna make the playoffs. Okay, I can
Yeah.
see that.
Don't even trip.
The only thing is they got to make sure they're a top 4 seed. You don't want to be playing the play-in game.
But understand this. I think the Bulls are still kind of ahead of schedule. Nobody was expecting the Bulls to be at the number 1 spot.
Well, no one expected Cleveland to be where they are.
Exactly.
Okay, so you can't just say they're ahead. They're ahead of schedule. You got to look at the rest of the league. You got to look at. You got Miami. No one really thinks that they're going to be number 1 seed. I don't think they're going to finish number 1 seed. And
A team that was in the finals not too long ago.
Yeah, but
You
that's
can't
the
see
bubble
that?
finals. Don't get me wrong. Jimmy Butler is the man. And I do like Jimmy Butler.
Okay.
I really wish that we still had him here.
No, you don't.
I don't.
No, you
But I don't think he has enough in Miami that's going to get him over the top.
You got
Kyle Lowry, I'm sorry.
He's got Tyler Hero.
Yeah, you got
He's got Kyle
Tyler
Lowry.
Hero?
Yes. You got
We
Duncan
need a hero,
Robinson.
Tyler Hero.
You got Duncan
Yeah,
Robinson popping
he's not
threes.
bad, dude. Stop.
Don't sleep on
hate
him.
No. He's a good
Don't-
scorer.
don't
It's just his
sleep on
name.
No,
It's just his
don't do
name.
that.
We need a hero, Tyler Hero.
But
No, I'm not hating on him.
before we talk about them, look at the Bulls yesterday, right? We had a rookie that was running point guard, and while he was on the floor, we were killing it.
Io.
He fouls out, and the minute that he fouls out, we go on a 14, 15 point.
Well,
you
you
know,
he slipped in the draft,
mhm.
so the
But
Bulls
the second
picked him
round.
up.
Mhm.
And
Oh,
that was a
I'm
good
good with that.
find.
I
It was
was-
a good
I was
find,
great
and
with
I'm
that.
sure he doesn't mind playing
I
for his
think,
hometown too.
I think he's a great pickup. This guy, what did he go 9 for 9?
Yeah.
Yeah, he did.
Yesterday, that's like nothing that rookie's ever done on the Bulls. He controlled the ball, and it looks like DeRozan's been teaching him the mid range because
He's been mentoring him
because
probably
he's-
since he was drafted.
Yeah.
And
He's
they
been,
picked up
he was
DeRozan.
killing the mid range yesterday.
Yeah.
So I see a lot.
Oh,
of
he's
improvement.
gonna. He's yes.
See a lot of improvement.
Oh yeah,
there.
he's gonna be good. You kind of tell.
I think in about 2 years he's gonna be your Jimmy Butler.
I think the Bulls are hanging
It's
on.
gonna be better. He broke Orlando
Damn.
Woolridge record of rookies consecutive field goals.
Yep. Yeah, he snapped.
Sorry.
Well, we have the Jimmy
man.
Butler haters here.
I'm not a Jimmy Butler hater. The man can
you
play,
guys
but he's a
were
diva.
kissing up to him when he was playing here.
He's
No,
a diva.
never
was.
Everywhere he's gone
Never
since then,
was.
he's basically the Antonio Brown of the NBA. Everywhere that he goes, there's some sort of drama. He's got to get out. Oh, I'm not happy they're not doing this for
And
me.
you
I'm
love
not happy here again. It's basically
Look,
Antonio Brown, except he's just not
When
as crazy.
Derrick Rose got
Oh,
hurt,
God,
how
here we
many
go.
times? He made his name. He was the superstar on the
No,
team.
he didn't, dude.
And when Derrick Rose did come back from his injuries, when Jimmy Butler was there, he was playing better than Derrick Rose.
Oh,
he really
wow.
was.
Wow.
When he was playing, when they were playing together, he had better games than Derrick Rose.
Lord.
You know, but the bottom line is he's gone. You know, they're all gone. There's a different team. You know, they have really good chemistry together. And Io is a good pickup, and the Bulls better keep him. He's gonna be good. He got the good coaching staff around him.
Yep.
You got good players around him. He'll be fine. So I don't have any problem with him. Bulls just got to stay afloat. You know, for these next 6 weeks, it's tough. But you know, they got to stay afloat and they got to win some of these games. You know,
It's okay.
and
It's okay.
don't make the playoffs now. Once everybody gets back, hopefully they can really make some noise in the playoffs.
Once March and April comes around, that's where you solidify your seat in the ranking. That's where you solidify it, and that's where you're gonna be.
As long as they get back before the
I'm not worried
playoffs
right
start and the Bulls are on somewhat of a decent streak, they're not on a losing streak going to the playoffs. If they're on a winning streak going to the playoffs, like coming off, like I say, a 3 or 4 game winning streak when the playoffs start, that's going to be good for them because they're on a momentum there. Instead of being a lost 4 streak, they just stumble into the playoffs. Not stumble, they're already in there, but they lost all these games in a row.
Right.
And they end up, you know, that will mess up in the playoffs, end up screwing up. You know, I think they'll be okay. They just got to get everybody together. With 2 months. 2 months from now is what, March, the end of March. So they'll probably be back. What would you say? Maybe from this point, the end of March. So we'll say they could be back as early as
April.
mid-March.
I'm gonna give him April.
Well, they could be back as early as mid-March.
Late
So
March,
they said
early
6 to
April.
8 weeks. So if we say the earliest they can come back is mid-March, St. Patrick's Day, somewhere on there, they could be back by then.
I agree with the
You know,
ugly green Bulls.
But they should definitely be back, and they should definitely have a few games under their belt before the playoffs start. Playoffs will start to what, mid-April? So they should have plenty of time for that,
Yeah, so
and
they'll be
have
ready.
a little bit of teamwork and chemistry together, and be ready for the playoffs. And you know, like these nice people, analysts on NBA TV and the East Coast Sports Network. You know, now this all the Bulls are a dangerous team. They get in the playoffs with all this talent on there. They're not saying so much now, but when everyone gets back, they'll be saying it again. And when the precious Brooklyn gets eliminated and the precious Boston gets eliminated,
I
and
wouldn't
Knicks
really
don't
concentrate
make
so
the
much on
playoffs, then you
what
know
these analysts
what teams
say.
are going to jump on.
Wow, you don't
They're
have the
gonna-
Knicks making the playoffs either?
No. For some reason, no.
I don't feel
They're not even worth talking about. What probably will end up happening is, I think you're right. I think Tibbs might be. They might get rid of Tibbs
The Knicks are
because
playing good too. They're gonna make the playoffs.
Guys, we still have a half season left, man.
Exactly.
We have a
Thibodeau wears
whole
his
half season left,
Thibodeau
man.
wears his teams out.
He does.
And like you said, sometimes it goes on deaf ears and players just stop listening to him. I mean, that happened here. It happened in
Tibbs is
Boston.
the guy who loves the game.
He
man.
does,
Yeah,
but
he
the
have
problem
it in
is,
Minnesota.
but his
needs-
problem
he needs
is he
guys who
wears
love the game.
he wears out his players.
Yeah.
He wore the hell out of Blue all day. He wore out Jimmy Butler. He
Joakim
wore out
Noah.
Joakim Noah. You go over to Minnesota. Who did he wear out? Did he have Towns on that team?
Yeah, he did.
Wore his ass out. He wore out Jimmy Butler there. You know, he's going to New York. Look what he's doing to Randall. I bet you Randall has the most minutes clocked in the NBA.
You know what? It probably is true. Minutes played.
But you know what? I believe DeRozan might be following right behind him. But I don't think DeRozan has as many minutes as Randall does when he's
Yeah,
playing.
but see, it's different. DeRozan has to play the minutes because of all the injuries and COVID.
What do you think? What do you think Randall has to do?
It's not
He's
because of
the
COVID.
star player on that team.
Believe it or not, Frank.
Oh, Van Vliet. Oh
Frank
my
Van
goodness.
Vliet is the leading.
We don't talk
minutes
about
per
him
game.
because that team somewhat is. They're an 8 seed. They're kind of be
You
relevant.
said he sucked.
I didn't say. Well, he picked it up in the playoffs. I just said he's a bench player.
James Harden, second. Jason Tatum.
I was wrong.
All the people that you love, basically.
Yeah.
LeBron James, I mean, man, a 37-year-old guy logging in 36.7.
He has no choice.
Woo.
But you know what the problem
Talk
with that
about
is?
Father Time.
But here's the problem with
Because
that.
the injuries.
But here's the problem. He is 37. He's been in the league damn near 20 years. And he's playing all these minutes right now. That means he could be prone to injury and being tired.
You want to see something else that he's a leader in the league? Number 2 in points per game behind Kevin Durant.
Yeah.
Man, 29 points per
Come
game.
on, Frank. Come on, dude.
Man.
I'm not hating on him about that.
Man.
All I'm saying is, hold on. All I'm saying is
37 years old.
he's 37 years old. He's
Man.
playing all these minutes. Been in the league how many years? You want to slow down for him because what will happen? He gets injured. He pulls an ACL like
Lakers are
like
done.
Harden, not Harden, like Kawhi Leonard.
Lakers
did.
are done.
Or tears his Achilles like Kevin Durant did in the finals. Or a what's his name? Klay Thompson. For a 37-year-old, let's be honest, LeBron James tears his knee up.
It's probably the end of his career.
It probably is.
I don't see him
You know-
rehabbing and coming back in 2 years at 40, basically.
So they're wearing the hell out of
Wow.
him. And being an older player, that's gonna linger come towards playoff time. I mean, how much energy is gonna have for the playoffs? I mean, we already know they're not going anywhere. Be honest, they're not gonna go far in the playoffs. They're a first round knockout.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right.
I mean-
Moving on. Moving on.
The LeBron hate just
Yeah, exactly.
is just
Let's-
spewing
Really?
right now,
Let's do
boy.
that.
Yeah.
It's just so funny that we refuse to look at all this man's talent, all his accomplishments.
They're number 9.
And all we want to look at is, I hate this man because
No.
he might be better than Jordan.
They're not.
Or
You
he
know,
didn't
no.
come to the
this
Bulls.
is the only
He
reason
didn't
why
come to
we
the
live
See,
Bulls.
you would mention something
we
like
live in
that.
Chicago.
That
and I
he's
get
better
it.
than Jordan,
We
which
live
we
in
all know that's
Chicago.
not the case.
And we all love Jordan. We do. That was the man. He's the only one that got us our 6
I'm looking
championships here.
at
But
their
the mere-
seeding.
the
Where
mere
are they at
threat-
right now? Hold
the
on.
mere- the mere
Where
threat
Where
of
are they
Jordan.
at? Where are they? He's
Can
not
I,
making.
can I finish?
He's no threat
so
to
the mere,
Jordan.
the mere threat of Jordan.
There is no mere
This
threat.
is what happens here. Is that you're gonna point out every single little thing possible about this man at 37 is performing better than any time that Jordan ever even thought of at that age. But still,
Jordan was retired at 37.
exactly. How many times did he
So
retire?
I
But yet
mean,
he's
come
the
on.
greatest.
Yeah, and then what
Anyway.
happens when he comes back?
Anyway,
I mean, I'm just saying.
back to
So
our subject.
let's say LeBron retired for 3 years and then come back.
He
at
doesn't
40.
need to. He loves the
Okay.
game too much.
Now,
It's not
no. One last thing. You wanna talk about your precious Lakers? They're number 9 right now. I don't see them getting any higher than that. They're 23 and 24. They're a game under 500.
Mhm.
And if the playoffs were to start today, they'd be in the playoff game, play-in game.
Mhm.
That's exactly where I see them going. I don't see them jumping up in the standings anything 6 or higher.
So
They're going to be at 7 or lower.
Okay. All right. No problem. So moving on to football. What do you guys think about that game? All the games this past weekend.
Well,
Unbelievable.
Frank came out on top with with basically all his calls except one. Good call. I'm gonna congratulate you for that because
you beat us on this one.
You did call them out. I know it was mostly based off of hatred, but
It wasn't based off of hatred, but it's based off of the naked eye.
you hate Tom Brady
Yes,
and
he
you
does.
hate Aaron Rodgers,
Yes, he
so
does.
you want to see them lose. So
Yeah.
of course you're gonna call them lose, and you got
You got
it.
it.
So that's fine. I still tip my hat to you, and I still
Because you got the 3-1 record. You beat
I may
both
not.
of us.
I may not like those guys,
Mhm.
but I kind of tell what's going to happen based on history and based on the naked eye.
Mhm.
I mean, I could clearly see Green Bay is always a good regular season team. Here's what people don't want to talk about. Aaron Rodgers is a great quarterback. Okay, hallelujah, you're a Hall of Famer. Good for you. You are a great regular season quarterback. You have a great record. You win the division every year. Wonderful. Or every other year. But you win it most of the time. You make the playoffs pretty much every year, which is all you can ask for as a team to stay competitive. But let's be honest. His playoff record is 11 and 10. Okay? Even his predecessor, the great Brett Favre, was 12 and 11. So
Same record.
exactly, about the same. They cannot succeed when it comes time to play in the playoffs. I knew from the beginning that Green Bay, everyone keeps on picking Green Bay Super Bowl, Super Bowl, Super Bowl. They're not going to the Super Bowl. They're not going back to the Super Bowl.
I didn't say that.
You all were saying that because you love Aaron Rodgers.
But no, it's not. I did not say they're going to the Super
Hold on,
Bowl.
and then the analysts on the East Coast Sports Network And the NFL Network, of course, they just love this man, and they always, Aaron Rodgers is going to the Super Bowl.
No,
he's not.
I did not say he was going to the Super Bowl.
He
and I don't
cannot
think
get
you
back.
said he was going
He cannot get back to the Super Bowl.
You did?
He will not get back to the Super Bowl with this team because Green Bay is cursed when it comes to the playoffs.
No, that's not
They're
even
not. They're not. They can't do shit. They can't do anything in the playoffs.
That's not even it.
Hey,
What's
let
up?
me ask you a question.
Yes, sir.
Did Aaron Rodgers choke it away when they blocked the field goal?
No.
Oh wait, did Aaron Rodgers choke it away when they blocked a punt?
No.
Oh, so
I didn't see him on the field. Did you see?
No, I didn't see that either. I don't
Really?
know.
I sure didn't.
I don't know
But you know
how
what I
you
did see on the
know
field?
Okay.
I did see Aaron Rodgers get sacked how many times?
That's
5
why
times.
they
But I also saw
lost.
Aaron
There we
Rodgers
go.
throw 0 touchdowns.
That's why
For
they
the
lost.
first time in his playoff career.
What is the best way?
0.
What is the best
0.
way to
Hold
stop
on,
any
hold on.
quarterback?
0.
What is the best way to
He
stop
didn't throw any receptions, but he sure the hell didn't throw any touchdowns. They shut down that running game.
Okay then.
So when you shut down Aaron Rodgers, you shut down.
Then you're gonna lose.
You're gonna lose. You're gonna lose the running
Okay.
game.
So
and
it
what
wasn't
happened?
really him.
What did Devontae Adams do?
Okay.
90 yards, but nothing. No
It
touchdown.
wasn't really him. But then again,
It was him.
No, it wasn't.
It was him because
No,
look,
one man
you
can't do it
have-
all.
you
Football
are-
is a team sport.
but you have
need
your
all-
Hall of Fame
you
quarterback
need
out there.
all-
Playoff. This is
Fields
the
to play.
prime time playoffs.
No.
You've been waiting for this.
Disagree.
Everyone's expecting you to put up 350
Disagree.
yards, 4
Disagree.
touchdowns on
Disagree.
on San Francisco, who was coming into Lambeau Field, 10 degrees, 0 wind chill factor, snowing, crappy, horrible conditions. You know, this was primed for Green Bay to blow out San Francisco.
No.
I knew that wasn't going to happen. I knew that Aaron Rodgers was going to have a crappy game, which he did. I knew that the defense was going to step it up. You know, and I knew that San Francisco would make key plays to win that game. But let's talk about one thing on Green Bay that everyone seems to forget and may not even know. Green Bay in playoffs, everything matters. Every phase of the game matters in the playoffs.
Exactly.
Not in the regular season, but in the playoffs.
Exactly.
They have the worst
Special teams.
Exactly.
in the league.
And that's why they
32
lost.
That's why they
But
lost.
that's not the only reason why they
It's
lost.
the main reason
That
they
is
lost.
the
They got
main reason.
blocked.
It was no
Which-
offense. Hold on.
They got
No
blocked.
No
They got
offense.
the ball and ran it back
Listen,
10 yards.
that is
listen,
not true.
listen.
That is not
No
true.
offense. No offense from Aaron Rodgers.
Speaking of
No
no
hold on.
offense.
No offense from Aaron Rodgers.
San Francisco didn't
No
have it.
defense.
They
No.
didn't-
Jimmy Garoppolo had 131 yards,
Yeah.
0 touchdowns. And you know how many
Yes.
touchdowns he had the week before that? 0, because he sucks.
Okay.
He sucks. He has a good team.
Yeah.
He has a good team behind him. He has a good defense behind him. That's the only reason he's going anywhere.
Right.
Look at these numbers. 1 interception with a 57%
But you know-
passer rating,
yeah,
and you're
but-
over here
But guess what?
claiming Jimmy G?
Again.
Whew.
You know what they do have?
Whew.
They had a better defense than
Suck.
Green Bay.
Okay.
Hold on. They had a better defense than
So
Green
that's
Bay.
why they won.
They had a better special teams than Green Bay, and they had
And that's why they won.
mediocre offense.
So out of
And
2
that
out of
would-
3,
yeah.
2 out of 3,
Mhm.
that's what won.
And Green Bay was
Okay?
0
In
for
the
3.
phase of the game. Exactly. So actually, I take
Well,
that
their
back.
defense picked it up a little
Green
bit.
Bay wasn't. They were 1 out of 2 because the offense they did come down there and they did score. Even though it was on the run play, they did score and they got a field goal out of it. Okay, if it wasn't for Green Bay,
10 points?
horrible.
For an Aaron Rodgers team?
That's what I
10
said. They were going to
points?
win by 2.
I expect that
I
from a
said they
Bears
were going to
team.
win by 10 points. If it wasn't for the special teams,
They didn't win by
would've-
10 points.
They
They
would have
won
won
by
by
3 points.
They would have won by 10. They would have won by 10 if it wasn't for the special teams.
A block kick.
If it wasn't
that
for
the
the
guy
special
caught
teams.
and ran back in.
And you know what the
10
problem
yards.
was? I was so happy
I bet
Oh,
you
I
when
know.
that happened because here's why.
Just like every other Bears
Had that
fan
been,
ticket-
had that been, for example, this is what happened when with the Bears, for example. If that would have happened to the Bears, a field goal would have got blocked. The same thing would happen to Green Bay. They saw the defense or the special team saw the field goal got blocked, right?
Right.
And what did they do? They stood there, just looking.
Yeah,
while
I
the
noticed
ball
that.
bounced up, while the San Francisco picked it up and ran, they didn't even.
Again.
They just completely
Again, absolutely.
quit
right.
on the
Yeah,
play.
man.
Absolutely.
That
That's
happens a
something-
lot.
And that makes no sense.
I was
But
scared.
you know what? I was glad that happened because they lost. I'm very happy, as well as all Bear fans are happy that they lost. I don't care what you say, Ralph.
That's fine.
All Bears fans are happy that Green Bay lost. Nobody. If you're in Chicago and you're a Bears fan, you did not want the Packers
Well, I did
to
not want the
win.
San Francisco 49ers
Okay.
to win because I don't like the San Francisco 49ers.
No,
I don't
but
like
the
their
bottom line is
quarterback. I don't like
Jimmy
that
G
team.
is going to the championship, and
That pretty
AG is staying at home watching on TV.
Did the 49ers beat us?
They sure did.
Yes,
Did they beat us? They seem to beat us all the time, right?
No, they just beat us last year.
Only last year?
Yeah,
I feel like every time we
not
see
every time. The
49ers,
Bears
they
beat them the
us.
last time they played them a couple of years ago.
It's pretty funny how we're cheering for a team that regularly basically.
No.
beats
When
us,
any team plays against
That's
the
all right.
Bears, I don't want that team to win.
I
But
see.
there are but any team, if you are playing against Green Bay, you are my favorite team for that day.
All right.
Okay.
Meatball.
Even Minnesota Vikings, which is my second most hated team.
Ugh.
Every team that they play, I want them to lose, except Green Bay.
Gotcha.
Meatball.
What about the other game?
Let's go with the only one that I predicted right, which was the Bengals and the Titans.
Okay,
So
I got
I-
that wrong.
That's the only one you got wrong.
Yeah,
I was kind of surprised.
I was very surprised.
I was surprised by that.
I was very surprised because I did expect
Because Tennessee
to win
good.
that game.
They just threw that late
They were at
game
home.
in, that late interception.
Yeah, they were at home and they blew it. But Cincinnati, hey,
Yeah, you got to give them some.
I am giving them some credit. They got into the championship game
They made
the
some
first
key
time in a
throws.
long time.
Yeah.
But I believe
Cincy.
Ryan Tannehill is going to be Ryan Tannehill no matter where he goes.
Unfortunately.
And unfortunately.
what does that mean?
That means that he's been losing for quite a while now. Where was he? Miami or?
Yeah, he was.
It was either Miami or
He has a much better team now than
He does because he has Derrick Henry and a great running
and he
team.
has a decent defense.
But you also got to think too. Derrick Henry was coming out for injury,
Mhm.
so he was playing. He played good, but it wasn't the Derrick.
No, 20 rushes for 62 yards.
Yeah.
Well, what did you put him to put up? 162
Normally,
yards?
Henry runs 20. He rushes 20 times. He's getting about 100.
He hasn't played in how long?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
So I mean, come on.
So you can't. You
And I
can't
called
beat.
that out. I did call out that they're going to try and
can't
put a
beat
little
the
work
man
on
up there.
him. That's going to cost them because he's not ready to be coming out and handling that kind of load. But
I'm not sure if it was just him.
Remember that critical play though, that fourth down play,
oh yeah,
and he didn't make it. They gave him the
Yeah,
ball, and he
they
couldn't
stuffed
make it.
him.
Yeah, they stuffed him.
Yeah.
So,
But see, they didn't have to do it. Here's the problem. They should have just had Tannehill just run it in. And that's why I don't understand that. Just have him run it in.
I mean, that's your boy, man. That's
I
the
understand
running
that,
back,
but
baby.
you let the defense think that he's going after him while Tannehill just sneak it in. A yard. You could just fall down
Right.
and you'll reach a yard.
Got you.
And that's simple.
yeah.
But yeah, that was the only one I was incorrect
Yeah,
about.
Joe Burrow did the business,
Yeah, he
even
did.
though he did not throw a touchdown, which surprisingly again,
Key throws,
another
key
quarterback
throws.
that didn't deliver a touchdown pass, but he did throw for 348 yards. It was damn near,
Close to
350
4.
yards.
You almost called that one.
You know.
What's
I expect
amazing
that.
though is Tennessee, Green Bay, Tampa Bay. These were all the top seeded teams.
Yeah,
Tampa Bay had to play last week, but you had Tennessee and you had Green Bay that had first round byes. They're the number one team with the best records in the league, and they get eliminated. See, that's why
it doesn't
in
matter.
football
Yeah, it doesn't really matter.
it doesn't matter home field because it's one and done.
Yep.
And a lot of times most of the time you see the number one teams are usually upset. That's why I think there's a stat out there that being number one team,
It's not always the best thing.
it's not the best thing because more than half the time the number one team does not make it to the Super Bowl, let alone even win the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So it's coming in hot. I don't think sometimes that first round bye does not help. I think it
doesn't.
hurts you more. than it
Yeah,
helps you.
I agree
You're
with
sitting,
you, man.
You're rusty for
You
that
know,
week. You're watching everybody
Yeah.
else play.
I mean, your body's resting up, but you have a momentum playing.
Yeah.
And so you lose that momentum taking that extra week off. Now you rest your body, but shit, you haven't played in a week. And now these other teams that played the week before, they're up and ready to go.
Yeah. So what do you think about the Rams and the Bucks, guys?
No surprise
That was
there.
the second best game I watched this weekend.
Yeah, that was.
The score was much closer than it should have been. That game should have been a complete blowout,
Wow.
How?
and it should have been a complete blowout.
How?
Yeah.
Because the Rams,
But there's not.
the
was there
Rams
not
let them
a
in
comeback?
stupid boneheaded turnovers
That is-
by Rams down the stretch. Because they did everything they needed to do to stop Tom Brady, but shit, you can't sit there when all you gotta do is sit on the damn ball. Just run it. This damn running back just fumble. How the hell do you fumble the ball?
Yeah.
All you gotta do is sit there and lay on the ball
Yeah.
for 40 seconds.
Yeah.
Make them use their timeouts.
Yeah.
I fumble the ball and you get this guy get it. Last thing you want to do is let this guy bring this team back.
The Rams
He almost
Rams
did.
play awesome defense.
Almost.
He almost did.
Almost.
Not for that last field goal. That was
But
gonna be,
he's
But Tampa Bay, they play sloppy. Those reckless
yeah.
penalties.
I feel like the first half,
yeah,
they
that
weren't
was
there.
horrible. The
But-
offensive wasn't
But
there.
did you not see this happening? Tampa Bay's injury is injury riddled.
It has nothing to do with
Oh, it does because remember
They're
last year
depleted.
and this year, their entire their entire was it defensive or offensive line? Every starter came back,
Yeah.
but they all got injured this year.
No.
And his top receivers are
What
gone.
was real bad was Tom Brady's left tackle could not stop Von Miller.
Yes.
He could not stop.
Well, they had to take a chance. They had
Yes.
to, you either got to stop Von Miller or you got to stop Donald.
Yes.
And so
Yeah,
they couldn't stop
I know,
them.
I know, but I'm just saying you could not stop him, and so that was giving Tom Brady fits. He couldn't really get in a.
Sorry, he doesn't have that
And then-
magical wall that he had in New England. That's gone.
Yeah, so
I'm
they-
surprised he got it last year, but it's
There was-
gone.
Almost still
They
won
were,
the game.
exactly.
man.
They were just out of sync.
And look
so
who he
they-
lost against.
Yeah.
He lost against a hot LA Rams.
But again, Tampa Bay was the higher seeded team. They had the more wins.
Yes, they
the
did.
Rams were just.
But the Rams, it's the Rams and the Buccaneers. Oh, no, sorry, the Rams and the Saints that have his number because he can't beat them.
You got Cooper Kupp on the other side.
You can't talk
that
about him.
basically doesn't.
I called that
he
out
doesn't
too.
drop anything.
That boy's bad.
No.
I mean,
Well, not to what you were saying.
This
No,
way.
you didn't think he was that good.
What do you mean?
In those Texans, you were saying he was that good. You know,
but
I was calling him out.
no, you were. But I've had him on my fantasy teams, and I'm gonna tell you that he's been performing every single time, every single year.
I wish the Bears could pick him up.
Oh, I'd give up two.
I'm sure everything
I'd give up
Justin
two for
Fields goes
right
to
now.
him will be caught.
Not
Guaranteed.
necessarily, man. You need another player there.
Guaranteed.
He would say that.
No, because because you got Gronk and you got Cooper Kupp. Well, no, I'm sorry, different team. Sorry, you got Odell Beckham, and then you got Cooper Kupp there.
Yep.
You got him. So you got somebody.
Odell Beckham is a surprise because I really didn't expect him to perform anything. Because I actually, to be honest, I just think that he was just overrated. But he's picked it up. He's picked it up.
He's a good player.
He wasn't. Yeah, but you saw his numbers fell off in New York. Before
Yeah,
he
but
left.
you know-
And then what did he do in Cleveland? He didn't do anything in Cleveland.
Do you know he already caught like 7 touchdown passes since he's been with the Rams, which is equals to what he caught.
So you're
in
trying to say it
Cleveland?
had something to do with Mayfield?
Yes.
What about New York?
What about New York?
Wasn't he playing with?
That's where he
Was he playing with Manning?
Yeah, and that's where he was made. Was in New
Yeah,
York.
but down the stretch, he wasn't doing anything there.
Well,
He was staying hurt, wasn't catching the ball.
Wide receivers are kind of like they're really needy. So
No,
if you
you-
don't give them the
you
ball.
But
Yeah,
hey,
Eli was
hey,
getting
the
lit
bottom
up.
line is
Eli was getting lit
the
up.
bottom line
That
is
too.
he's resurrected his career in L.A. with Stafford throwing the ball. Who's also resurrected his career.
Mm-hmm.
Because this guy did not throw a pick six for the first time in how long?
Yep.
You know, that's the one thing that worries me about the Rams. Because you know that unfortunately Stafford is prone to throw that pick six.
Yep.
It just happens.
Yep.
Hey, he got that monkey off his back.
Not real. Well,
He did. He actually won
He
a
won
playoff
2
game.
Oh no,
playoff
yes,
games.
and I give him that, and that's good. But that's always in the back of your mind. Remember when our old pal Jay Cutler? You know, that guy, when he was playing, you would know that this guy is going to throw an interception at some point.
But he's not like that. He never really was like that,
No.
man. He was on a real bad team in Detroit. So he wasn't that type of person that just prone to just throwing interceptions.
And you had Megatron out there to
And
throw
he
the ball
was
to.
right. They were. How
He had
many
some-
yards?
Well,
were
no,
there?
because let's
Touchdown.
be honest, sometimes he throws boneheaded. He throws
Every
boneheaded
quarterback
moves.
does, man.
But he throws. Okay, 1 or 2 is fine, but this guy went on a streak of how many games he was doing.
Because he
pick
was
sixes
always
in a row.
behind, and he always had to bring that team
Exactly.
back. He had
No,
to take
I'm talking
chances.
about with the Rams too. This
Oh
season.
yeah.
I mean,
I give you
it
that.
This
I give you
season,
that.
he was
It
throwing the
happens.
same thing he was doing in Detroit. He was throwing pick sixes.
Yeah.
Like, how many
Every
games
week.
in a row
Every
this
week.
season was he throwing a pick six?
Yeah.
It happens. It happens, man.
Well, that's something that cannot. Now he's
he's a talented boy.
he's cleaned it up. He has really cleaned it up, and I give him that because he really cleaned that up in the playoffs so far.
Okay.
But they won, and I'm so happy. But
What
on
about
top of this,
what
go ahead.
about the Buffalo and Kansas City boys? That was
That
a
was-
hell of a
that
game.
was the best
Yes, it
game.
was.
that I have seen since Tom Brady came back on
Atlanta.
in the Super Bowl. That was the best game that I have seen.
What was it? They said there was like 25 points that were scored in the last 2 minutes of the game.
Oh my God!
Has that ever happened before?
No.
25 points. What's that? That's
back and
3
forth.
touchdowns, a 2-point conversion, and a field goal.
That was crazy.
In
That was
2
crazy.
minutes.
Because I remember you texted us, like, looks like I called it. And it was like, what, like 15 seconds left in the game? Next thing I know, we're in overtime. Like, how'd that happen?
I know you were itching.
What do you guys think was
Mahomes.
the secret weapon to that game for both teams?
Tyreek Hill?
No, he was, but the secret weapon I thought was the fact of the matter that the quarterbacks can scramble and go for the extra yards.
Yes,
Correct.
I
Yep,
do give you
yep,
that
you know,
because you saw how Josh
They
Allen was
could
winning.
the defensive coordinators could not adjust to that because you couldn't do because you can get Tyreek Hill, you can put maybe a safety over top, or you can actually have a middle linebacker kind of help with assist, but you couldn't stop the extra run by the quarterback, and I think that's what kind of helped them.
And that's why I think it's going to be Casey's problem. I think they're going to go to the Super Bowl. But I believe if they play the Rams in the Super Bowl, the Rams are going to beat them because they got the defense to slow down Mahomes.
But he may have
But
that capability.
KC does not have the defense that will stop LA's offense, especially Cooper Kupp. They got no one on that team. So
Don't
go teams
go
gonna
past
destroy
those
them.
defensive
But that's just my
tackles
thing.
and
Now I ain't gonna say anything to
Kansas
change.
City
No, because I think Mahomes will get to the Super Bowl. I don't think he'll if he plays the Rams, he will not win. 49ers, probably. But if he plays the Rams, he's not gonna win that game. Because I believe the Rams they have too much of a powerful offense and a better defense. So they have top two guys. You have KC who has one of the worst defenses historically. And they have one of the best offenses. That's not a recipe for a Super Bowl win. The Rams have exactly what you need to win a Super Bowl. Top defense, top offense. And that's what you need to win a Super Bowl. They don't have no bad special teams either. So now, one thing I want to go back on there's 2 points I want to make.
What is that?
On the Bucks Rams game,
Yes.
and on the KC Buffalo game.
Go ahead.
I'll start with the Rams and the Bucks. It's not much of the game itself. It's after that. No, the rumors going around that Tom Brady is thinking about retirement.
Yeah, I know that
And
makes
so he's gonna, it's gonna come down to, I think he was mentioning the press conference,
What his family wants.
Yeah, it's not his family. It's what Giselle wants. Giselle does not want him playing no more.
Hey,
Well, she didn't want
happy
to play
wife,
for the
happy
past-
life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been 2 years. she's been wanting
So
to
he
retire.
has kids that are getting older now, and might be. In my opinion, I believe it's been time, but it might be time for him to finally say, you know what, let me get out of here, because of course one hit, he's done, possibly. We're talking about he'll be 45 come next season. I mean, who the hell plays to 45 in the NFL?
Tom Brady.
So does he really want to risk that? You've done everything. You got 7 championships.
What's your other point?
I want to ask you, what do you think is going to happen? You think he's going to retire?
I think he's retiring.
You
myself.
think he's retiring?
What do you think?
Like, selfishly, I would like to see him play if he can, but if he has to go, he has to go.
I want him to retire.
I bet you do.
Go away. Next is
next
the
guy.
Buffalo KC game. Now that game is what I want to mention. It's the overtime. Overtime rules. I really hate the NFL's overtime rules. Now in the playoffs they resort back to the old school rules to a certain degree.
Right.
15-minute periods, and there has to be a winner. There are no ties in the playoffs. And that was my point. They need to get rid of the ties in the regular season. And then in the playoffs, I believe that each team needs to be on the field offensively, should get the ball to score. I hear these idiots, your defense should be able to stand. No.
Yeah,
The bottom line is this. Your offense, you should get a chance to score. You can have your coin flip who decides who's going to go on there first, but if you have your offense went on the sidelines to get in there, they don't even get a chance to get in there because you score a touchdown, the game is over. That's bull.
I agree.
They need, especially since this league is going more offensive. They changed. How many rules have they changed in the last couple
That's
of
why
years?
it's called sudden death.
No, it's sudden
But they
death.
should both get a chance,
It's sudden death after each team attempted to score and failed, or if each team scored and this game is still tied, then the next score, no matter how it's scored, wins. And then if the 15-minute period is over, then you go to the kicking game. Okay, you get your field goal kickers out there. You start at
That means it's
25.
gonna be a 7-hour game. Man.
No, well, you do the field goal kick. Some field goals are going to be missed, and that ends the game like that. After a 15-minute brutal period, you don't want your players to be out there for another period, so you go to the kicking game. You start at 25-yard line field goal. That would be what? A 35. Well, you do a 25-yard field goal, so that would be like from the 15-yard line. You do a field goal from the 15-yard line. Then, if each team makes it, you go to the 20-yard line, and the 25, and the 30, and the 35.
Soccer?
No, but you kick the field goals until someone misses.
Until someone misses.
When they
okay.
miss, game over.
So basically, forget the
Wow.
entire team. At the end of the game, we're just gonna go down to the kickers
No.
and their accuracy to see.
After that.
No, after the overtime, because
Oh,
after the full overtime period.
I get it. I like that.
Because that is too much to put on these players. For football is a brutal sport. So what the current rule is this: if nobody scores in overtime, you play another 15-minute overtime,
Yeah.
and you'll play another 15-minute overtime until someone scores. That's too much. I don't want no ties, but if the offense and the defense, whatever, if the game is still tied after the 15-minute period, you go to the kickers, and that's it.
Yeah.
And as simple as that. And they you don't even have to have no one defense. You just have you just have the kicker and the snapper, long snapper and the kicker, kick the field goal. Then the next team comes out there and kicks their field goal.
I got you.
And if someone's gonna miss.
Well, I think they're gonna make some changes to it because a lot of coaches are complaining about those. About it.
They've been
So,
playing for years.
I think they're gonna make changes to it.
I just think the most.
especially after this last game.
Yeah,
that was played.
the biggest change that should be made is, and it should be on the regular season too, each team should have the opportunity to score. The offense should be on, so no matter what happens. Because right now, the rules are, if you get a safety, game is over.
Yeah.
You get a touchdown, the game is over.
Yeah, that's the way it should be.
That's bullshit. And I don't like
It's
that.
sudden death.
It's only sudden death but if you don't get a touchdown, if you
There
get
you
a field goal, then the offense can come out there
Yeah,
and get the
yeah,
field goal.
right.
Right. But at first it was a field goal, safety.
Before it was just whoever scores wins, and that's it.
Right.
But it was a 15-minute overtime.
Right.
But what kills me is how are these players? You should know this by now. There are ties in the NFL.
Right.
And still players and teams make mistakes and forget about that there's actual tie.
That's up to the coaches, man. to let
But there
these people
shouldn't
know.
be a tie.
Hey,
You don't play that many games to begin with. You only play 17 games. How the hell are you gonna have a tie in the 17 games? It's ridiculous. But anyway, that's just my opinion.
Yeah. Well, we got about 2 minutes left before we're gonna
Predictions
go
for
ahead and
the
sign off on
Final
this.
Four? Predictions?
So first, before I touch up on that, since you got to touch up on your Tom Brady retirement, let me ask you. There was another big figure that's talking about retirement also from Green Bay, Aaron Rodgers.
Retired?
Do you think he's gonna retire or no?
Nah, I don't think he's gonna retire, man.
You don't think he's gonna retire?
No, not at all.
You think he's coming back to Green Bay?
I do kind of believe he's gonna come back to Green Bay. I do. I don't really see him going anywhere necessarily. If he did go somewhere, I will see him going to his home team, San Francisco 49ers, because that's where he grew
I
up
know.
being a fan.
Yeah.
But other than that, no, I just don't see it, man. I don't see it. The Packers would be stupid to let him go.
I don't think
Because
they have
if
a
they
choice.
see anything with Detroit and Chicago, they don't want to let that man go.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want to have any experience of what we have to experience. None of it. So I don't think he was going to leave, but we'll see.
I don't think he's retiring. That's not happening. At least not yet.
Yeah.
But I do think he's getting the hell out of Green Bay. I think he's had enough of that team and their nonsense. He wants to get out of there. And he probably does want to go to warmer climates. But if I'm Green Bay and he demands a trade, I'll trade you. I'm trading you out the conference. I don't want to play you. So I'll trade you to a Denver or a Chargers or the Las Vegas or something. There you can go play closer to your home where I don't have to see you for 4 years.
Right.
That's what I think will happen. And let me tell you, and I'll keep repeating this, when he leaves good old Green Bay, they are a 4-13 team.
That's what I'm saying. They don't want to experience that.
And they will be the bottom feeders in the NFC North. They'll probably be, Detroit will probably be better than them.
They don't want to see that, so I'm
Alright.
pretty sure they won't.
So let's do our predictions for these last games before we sound off. for the day, and when are we gonna do another show, guys? Were you doing one before the playoff games?
I'd rather do it after the playoff
You wanna
games.
do it
We
after
make our
the playoff
predictions.
games?
We could do it like after the game goes off on Sunday,
Okay.
or
Okay.
if you want to do it on Monday or Tuesday.
All right. So real quick, we got Kansas City versus Cincinnati Bengals. I'm gonna go off on a limb.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go off and say the Kansas City is gonna beat the Cincinnati Bengals this coming Sunday.
Why is that going off a limb?
Because Joe Burrow is a really impressive player. Jamar Chase is a
You
really
act like that's an
impressive
upset.
wide receiver. Well, there's a lot of people that think that the Cincinnati can knock off the Kansas City Chiefs.
We'll nip this in the
So-
bud right now.
Mm-hmm.
I have no doubt Kansas City is going to win that game.
Did you know the Bengals? Didn't they have like a 200-yard receiving?
That's fine and dandy.
Yeah.
But I'm sorry, Kansas City is going to take care of that.
Okay.
And honestly, I want to say I don't want to predict the score, but if I would say the score, I'd say Kansas City beats them by.
20.
I'm not gonna say 20. I'm gonna say by between 14 points and 17 points.
Okay. I don't think you want to see a shootout. I don't think you want to see a shootout.
I don't know. Who knows? It could be a shootout, but I believe that Kansas City's gonna score a lot more than
Yeah, they will.
than Cincinnati because I'm suspect on Kansas City's defense. They give up a lot of points.
Well, I don't think it's going to be like Buffalo and KC.
Mhm.
I think Cincy's going to give them a good game. It's probably going to be closer than we think. So I am going to pick KC to kind of come out with a victory. Points I really don't know, but I don't think it's going to be
Clean sweep.
Okay. Last but not least, the 49ers and the Rams.
I think I know who you got.
Oh, it's going to be a scraping. They're going to get scraped. And I know that the Rams are going to beat the 49ers. I know this. Jimmy Garoppolo is going to come back out and throw 0 touchdowns like he did the past 3 weeks. Probably throw, 120 yards. That's not going to be enough because Cooper Kupp's going to catch 120 yards by himself and probably score a couple touchdowns. So, goodbye 49ers. Goodbye Jimmy Garoppolo. Hope you heal again. We'll see what team you end up next year because I'm pretty sure Aaron Rodgers is going to take your spot.
Damn.
Well, I mean, hey, hopefully that doesn't happen. If Green Bay is smart when they trade him, get him out the conference. But I agree that the Rams will win. I don't think, however, it's going to be a blowout.
That's great.
I do believe that the Rams are going to win. I do believe they'll probably end up winning by, I would say, about 14 points because the Rams will definitely get enough points. I'm not going to say it's going to be easy because I do believe San Francisco's defense is legit. You don't give them enough credit. They have a good defense. And they are going to frustrate them. You got to remember,
That's why
this is the
Packers.
third meeting this season. These are division rivals. So they both know each other very well. So that's why usually division rival game teams that play in the playoffs that play each other 3 times, you don't see no blowouts. They know each other too well. So the game is probably going to be much closer than you think it's going to be. And it's not going to be a blowout. I do believe it's not going to be very, very close. I think it's going to be about a 14-point win for the Rams.
Okay.
I believe that Stafford will have a decent game. I think he'll probably throw for about maybe 280, 3 touchdowns. And I agree. I don't know if Jimmy G is going to do much in the game. He's going to have to, but I don't think he'll need to. He'll probably use the running game.
Debo.
Debo,
It's
the
going to be
running
heavy
game.
Debo, yeah.
And I think it's going to be, I'm going to say 21-7,
Well,
21-10 game.
Points.
Somewhere around there.
You're giving out points, bro.
No. I said LA.
No, I'm just
is
saying
gonna
you're
have
giving out
that.
points.
That's what I think. And
It's hard for me to do that.
Matthew Stafford's going to go to the
Um,
Super Bowl for the first time in his career since leaving. Look at the success that man has had.
Since
Leaving
leaving
Detroit.
Detroit.
My goodness.
Yeah, that's what I said. But
Who do you got?
personally, I think the Rams in San Francisco is going to be a lot. It's going to be a close game. Now, I agree with you. I believe the Rams defense is really good. I believe they're going to give Jimmy a run for his money. Okay. And I also believe, I agree with you about San Francisco offense. I don't think it's that good. But if Jimmy can make some plays, make some throws, get some touchdowns in here, I think they can give the Rams a run for their money because San Francisco does have a good defense. Okay, I'm not saying that San Francisco will pull
And
it out.
they got good as gold, Robbie Gold.
Yeah, and but
I guess if it's a close game, you don't want the ball in his hand, in his foot.
Exactly. So
But that's Green Bay.
I do believe the Rams will pull it out. I don't think it's going to be by much. I think it may be by 10 points.
This game is happening at what? 5:30 p.m.
Yeah.
What would you?
I'm not-
What are
I'm
you
not
gonna say?
I'm
What
not
would,
listening
now,
to this
now, now, I'll admit, but what are you gonna say if Jimmy G actually pulls an upset in LA, beats the Rams, and goes to the Super Bowl?
I'm
Jimmy
not
G
watching
Super
that
Bowl
Super Bowl.
starting. Oh,
I'm
yes,
not
you
watching
will.
that Super Bowl.
Of course you will.
I am not watching that Super Bowl.
If it's hold on, if it's Kansas City, you know you're gonna want Mahomes to destroy him, right?
I can't see Jimmy Garoppolo in the Super Bowl.
It's possible.
I just can't. I can't
It's-
see a quarterback that I can throw as many yards as he can in a game.
Which is 0.
You know what I'm saying? And well, that's touchdowns. I'm pretty sure I can complete a 10-yard pass. I mean, a shovel pass or something is gonna happen, especially if I got a Debo that can run the ball an extra 50 yards.
Just tripping there, Jimmy.
But no, I know. But Jimmy's just not impressive, man. I'm sorry.
He hasn't had very good
He's not a
games
Super
the
Bowl
last few
quarterback.
games, but I think he's a decent quarterback.
Even in the Green Bay game, he threw some nice passes.
Yes.
They just didn't
You
catch
just don't like him.
They didn't catch
I don't see anything. 120 yards? I mean, damn. Justin Fields throws more than that. He's a sucky rookie with bad coaching.
Not no more.
Man, no more.
Okay.
Which
So Ryan Poles is gonna change that for us,
yes,
right?
he will. We'll get a good coaching staff in
I am
there.
hoping so.
We're hoping it's all we can do is hope.
Who's gonna be our head coach is gonna change this?
Well, I hope they get Jim Harbaugh. I want to get a quarterbacks coach.
It's not gonna
Who,
happen, man.
quarterback-
They haven't even interviewed the man. But I think
No, they might get Leftwich.
I still think they should have got a player personnel above him to kind of help him out with a few things and
Well-
management stuff, man. It's nice. Congratulations, Mr. Poles.
Did you see George McCaskey in the airport with him when he was coming out?
I wish I was still working at United, man, over there.
Like, look, help him with the bags.
I've been over there, but because a lot of times I'd be walking through the terminals and I would have saw him.
That's good to have one of the owners come in there and
'Cause I saw
meet you at
Tom
the
Waddle
airport.
one time. I didn't really recognize him because he was walking, he was limping and stuff like that. I was like, wait a minute, that was Tom Waddle. But
Well,
I didn't say nothing to him at that
What do
time.
you think of the pick, of the choice?
It's kind of hard to
It's
hard to say because this is totally like
first
different.
black GM for the
I
Bears
mean,
in
that's
history.
that's a good thing. That's a good
Very
thing.
few in
But
the
see,
NFL.
there's other people that want him. There's other teams that wanted him. The Vikings were trying to interview him tomorrow.
Let's not help them out
You
at
know,
all.
It's not
Won't
even
help
that,
them at all.
but it's just he has 13 years working with the Chiefs
Mhm.
as an executive director of player personnel. Then he has a scouting background.
That's what
You know.
we need.
You know.
We need someone in
So-
here. Get rid of whoever these scouts are scouting for the Bears. They need to be fired with this coaching staff that they let go. Let them all go.
I don't think they're gonna let them all go.
I-
He was the
why?
director
Okay,
of
they're not
scouting.
producing. Why would you not let these people go? If I'm the GM, like you know what?
See,
First thing
you
I'm
can't say-
cleaning.
you can't
I'm
s-
cleaning house.
You can't really say that. because-
Scouts out of here.
You can't
I was
really
a scout, so I'm gonna bring my own scouts
You
in.
can't really
you guys
say
are
that.
out of here.
You can't really say that
Yeah,
because
you
the
can.
person who's picking the players was who? Ryan Pace.
Well, what I'm saying
So
is the GM is in charge
there
of
could
all.
have been a scout. There could have been a scout saying, you know what, get Mr. Holmes here. And what did Ryan Pace say?
Nope.
Who do I want?
I want Mitchell Trubisky.
Okay, then. So is it the scout's fault?
We don't know if that scout probably wanted.
Exactly. So you can't really say. That's what I'm saying. You
I'm going to
can't-
say that because
you
he.
can't say that.
Well, look, the GM. That's the problem. The GM. Now we got this GM in there
Right.
now.
So
hopefully he could sit there and say, "I don't know you people. I don't want to know you people. Hit the door.
No.
I got my own scouts. I'm going to go in here. I'm cleaning house in this
No.
team.
No.
So I'm getting my own scouts,
No.
my own coaching staff, and my own head coach. My head coach is going to pick the coaching staff that they want. The next thing I'm going to work on is the players that I want on the field. Start by getting rid
Because these-
of Hakeem Hicks. Let's trade Khalil Mack.
Damn.
Get rid of some of these players in these defense that are aging. And then focus on the offense. Should be the number one focus. Is
First of all-
offensive line, wide receivers,
You can't get rid of
tight ends.
You can't get rid
That's
of
what you
Hicks.
start with.
Hicks is unrestricted. His contract is over.
Goodbye. Hallelujah. Goodbye.
You're not gonna get nothing for Khalil Mack.
Of course you will.
No, you're not.
Get something for him, even if it's a second round pick.
What are you gonna get for him?
You get draft picks.
What draft pick?
Whatever you draft picks you can get for him. The Bears don't have a first round pick.
You're not
They
gonna
can
get
have
a
a second round
round
pick.
You're not
They
gonna
may
get a
not,
second
but they
round.
can stack up on second round picks, and this is where your scouting comes in.
Then you're not gonna get.
This is where your scouting comes in. How many quarterbacks and players and running backs are not number one top picks? The top players, a lot of them come in the second round and the third round.
I understand that.
So that comes to scouting again.
I understand.
So you get rid of Khalil Mack. You can rebuild the defense, with free agency, or you can rebuild it with other picks in the draft. That's what your scouts are for. We need to focus on offense. That should be the number one goal. Get weapons for Justin Fields. Get an offensive line for Justin
The
Fields.
line didn't play that bad.
Get wide receivers that can catch the ball for Justin Fields. And that means goodbye, Allen Robinson III. Goodbye, Allen Robinson III. We franchised you. You can walk. You want to stay here? We can work with you. If not, we're not going to kiss your ass to stay here.
Yeah, I agree.
Goodbye. Now we have Montgomery. We have a decent running back. We could go there. I think Komet is okay.
Cool. Yep.
Now, Jimmy Graham, goodbye. He needs to go. He did absolutely nothing for the Bears this season. A couple of touchdown passes. I mean, give me a break. You did nothing for us. So you got to go. He can
Kick rocks.
exactly. And that's what I think they should do. And we'll see what happens.
Who's that hot wide receiver we got that was
Mooney?
burning everybody but can't catch?
Mooney,
There you go.
he'll catch a few.
I still say we keep him because he does burn defenders.
But here's the problem. It's called yak. We need receivers who can get yak, like Cooper Kupp.
Yards after the catch.
Exactly. That's what we need.
Well, then
Yeah.
you need
The
quarterback
Allen Robinson
In this
catches
case,
the ball.
Fields.
He catches the ball
Throw
falling
the
down,
ball.
and he doesn't catch. And he doesn't.
in the position of the receiver while he's still running.
But when that happens, here's what happens: the ball goes to him, and guess what? Bounces off, gets picked off by the next player, and that's not the quarterback's fault.
It is because if it touches the receiver, he's supposed to catch it. It's not supposed to.
So
bounce off his body.
when the receiver doesn't time it right, and the ball is coming dead at him, and you bounce it off your chest or bounce it off your hand, that is the wide receiver because you're supposed to time it to catch the ball. I don't see when Aaron Rodgers is throwing the ball to Devontae Adams. I don't see the ball bouncing off of Devontae Adams. I don't see the ball bouncing off of Kelsey in Kansas City. I don't see that. I see perfect catches no matter where it's right here, right here, right here, right here. I don't see it. I'm right here, but bounces off, and it gets picked off. That's not the quarterback's fault.
I hear that.
And so we need receivers who can catch. And that's all I'm saying.
We gotta cut this show. This show.
All right.
It's not short because it's been almost an hour now.
I think it's been about an hour.
Been longer than I expected, but it was a great show.
Yep.
Great opinions again, as usual. Ralph, Frank. Want to thank everybody again for watching. We'll be back again. We're gonna do it again after the playoffs, so we can talk about our predictions.
Sunday or Monday.
Yeah.
We'll see.
We'll have something. Most definitely. If we can, because Sunday I think the game. Well, Sunday the
The
game
late
doesn't finish till
game.
like
The
9
late
o'clock.
game is
5:30.
It doesn't end probably about 9.
8:30 to 9 o'clock. So it'll probably be Monday.
Yeah.
So we'll do it Monday. But anyway, again, everybody, thank you. If you have any comments or anything like that, please feel free to leave some. We're gonna keep doing this, and hopefully, we get better. All right.